You're now tuned into the 50-50 Felipe Show, and I'm your host, Felipe, man. What's going on? One time for that. What's going on out there, people, man? You know, from the door, man. Like and subscribe some shit, man. All you gotta do is hit the like button, and I'ma slap the mess out of hater for you. We all got haters. Word up. I'ma slap the haters for you, man. Word up. All you gotta do is hit and like the subscribe button. You dig? And I'm gonna do you a favor and slap a hater. We all got haters out there. Let me slap the hater real quick so we can get right into it. You do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I got to do. Slap the hater, you heard? Slap the hater, you heard? Yeah, very active. Hands on. What up? Hands on, baby. Yeah? Good energy, though. Just loud and aggressive, but good energy, though. Know what I mean? Very controllable. Dig? Very controllable, very loud, very aggressive, but very controllable. Very people personist. Very outgoingish. You know what I'm saying? I might have one of the worst things, right, as a person. But 100 of the other things is good as a person. To me. That's how I feel. I feel like, and it's that one thing. And the one thing it don't make it no better because of my size. You dig me? So it's like, you know what I mean? But when you get to know me, you're going to love me. Trust me. But it is what it ain't. You know what I mean? So, but anything else, man, official tissue like the referee whistle. What up, though, man? Happy Black History Month. That's what this is about today. It's about Black History Month, man. Like and subscribe, man. It's about Black History Month, man. Word up. Black History Month, man. And this ain't this is not an episode where it's though specifically aimed towards one race or anything. It's not that. It's pretty much, it's just racism. And that's all it is. Like, if you want to comment on anything, you can. Like I said, I'm open to the comments. I talk back. It don't matter. I ain't a billionaire yet. I ain't all that busy. I'm talking back. You heard me? You know how it is? I'm talking back. So if you got whatever you got to say about racism, anything that you experienced or anything that you know about, you want to enlighten people on, just feel free to comment in and you know below, after or before you hit the like and subscribe button, however you do it, because I know some of us, we hit the like and subscribe button as we go along. It ain't too much pressure. I dig it. Sometimes you be into other stuff or you be doing different things, because I do that when I look at different podcasts, and sometimes they got to remind me to do it, or I just do it after watching it for a minute or two. You dig me? Or just something happened that I liked, or something was said that I like, and you know what I mean? So everybody different, and I get it. Everybody don't do the same thing at the same time. You heard? But this episode is about racism. Just hold your seat, man. That's all. But imagine this though. Imagine if we all came out the house on the East Coast though. You heard me? On the East Coast. Imagine if we all came out the house on the East Coast at the same time. Imagine that. Imagine if we all just came out. Imagine if we all, I'm talking about Philadelphia, New York City, New Jersey, Baltimore, Virginia, all that, California, all that. No, not California, North Carolina, South and North, all that. Imagine if we all came out the house tomorrow at 7 o'clock sharp. All those states that all those places that I named, imagine if we came out the house tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning and just had somewhere to go. Even if we had nowhere to go, what if we all just came out the house at 7 o'clock in the morning? Let's just find somewhere to go. Do you know how packed this world would be? That's all it takes is for us to be on the same page at one time. It's gonna be crazy outside. Cause listen, think about it. We all just do what we want. You may get up at 7:45 and go out. She may get up at 7:15. So we in between. You dig me? We ain't really never we in between. But if we get out and go at the same time, watch to see how far we get. We won't even get far. We'll be running into each other. Traffic is jam packed. Car accident. It'll just be too much going on. So I say all that to say, just in life, man, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. We're on your own time, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be on their own time, man. Do what you gotta do. But this topic here is on racism, man. Now I just got a question before we get into it, right? My question is, seriously, do y'all believe racism still exists? Now I always want to keep the focus on myself, right? That's most importantly. And before I could pop shit and talk shit, I always got to be able to sustain and make sure my house is strong enough too. You dig me? You don't want to be throwing rocks and glasses. I mean, rocks and you living in the glass house and all that. So you always got to be on. And even if you want to make adjustments in life. So that's why I like to keep the focus on myself. So like I said, if there's anything I'm doing wrong, I'm good to adjust it. That's just who I am, just to better myself. But I believe personally that if they had, this is just me, and this ain't saying I'm a bad person or I'm racist, but this is just what I believe. I believe that if they had an anonymous button that you can push, and it just was a yes and a no, like the voting thing, real simple, get right to the point, a yes and a no button. If they had that, like let's just say they created an app and the app just said simple. It was simple. It didn't tell you the rules of racism. It just said, would you like for this country to rewind to the 1915 behaviors? Yes or no? It won't say your race, it won't say your name, nothing. We just gonna go by the yes and the no's. Simple. I'm sure a lot of people would pick yes. I'm sure a lot of different races would pick yes. There's a lot of black people that'll probably pick yes too, be honest with you. Because, in order for us to be anything, we're going to have to get rid of some of our own people. They the main ones. Yes, master! Yes, master! You got those people running around. Yes, master! Boss man! Yes, master! I mean, hey, to each his own. I ain't saying I am or I'm not. I'm just speaking on what I see, what I know, and what I go through. That all. You dig me? So I believe if they had that app, they'll definitely tap that app and tap yes. And I'm just saying, like, different race. Because a lot of people had it good back then other than us. That's all I'm saying. And look at us now. But that's just, what I wanted to say. But so do I think racism still exists? In a way it does. Because you still got people living that was living while racism was happening. So they ain't really get too much better. They learn to just adjust. You know what I mean? You probably got racist people at your job. You probably got racist people that's your neighbors. They just okay with it now. Like they can just deal with it. Like be cordial. You dig? Like they ain't really like. I mean, of course, like the 60s and 50s. I ain't talking about that, but I'm saying like they ain't really too much like into it like how they was say like in the 90s. It still was a little bit. You still could sense it like that real bad, but like now it's kind of covered up. People got older. You know what I'm saying? And like it kind of Like a lot of things cut it off. The way that life is designed, life cut it off for it not to be, even if you want it to be. Because we had to be cordial. We had to deal with each other. That's the way the world was. You couldn't be racism and not think you're going to buy anything or purchase anything. Now with the internet, you could be racist. You got to leave your house. But probably like the early 2000s, that was like the wrong thing to be. Like you had to deal with people. There was no internet. There was no no social media. So you just had to be outdoors, which was good because people was always adjust to being outdoors. That wasn't really strange to people, and that COVID just turned things sour when it comes to connecting and being around folks and dealing with people. So we still had a little bit of togetherness all the way up to there, and then like COVID, like kind of put us back into a slight form of racism, if you ask me, because now some people slip back into their own habits and their own comfortabilities, not being around people, not seeing people, not talking to people. Some people that was cool and they was all right with that. They ain't really want to be around certain people anyway. You know what I mean? COVID was like kind of a form of racism, as far as the isolation, if you ask me. But I just think racism exists, but it just ain't as bad. So that's my take on. You know what I mean? Just do I think it exists or not? So you know what I mean? But you know, it's your right if you're racist. You know what I'm saying? It's your right. That's you could exercise that, and it's sad, but it's okay to not like a different color person. It's not a crime at all. You don't like you because you black. It's okay to say that. And when I found out that was the truth, I started saying that to cops. And I ain't even racist. I just was exercising my rights. Like, man, listen, I don't like white people. But I was just saying it to cops. I'm racist. And they was seeing through it like, yeah, right, nigga. You just mad. You got busted. But you dig me? So I start exercising my rights, but I'm not racist. I love everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever color you is, some colors other than mine are better towards me than my own kind. And I ain't coming down on my own kind. We some beautiful people as well. But I'm just saying, I think every race is like that. Cause I met different races and they always say that to me that, you know, it just be that way, man, because that's why I shouldn't even be racism because we all need each other. That's a prime example right there. If you ever had met, if you ever been with somebody or got a friend that's white and they be like, yo, you treat me better than my brother or you treat me better than my own sister, that's how you know that, you know what I'm saying, that the connection of love is more important than racism because look, that happens a lot. You know what I mean? So that's what keeps me strong and that's what lets me know that because that's authentic, that's real, you can't front that. You know what I'm saying? Meeting somebody, I got white friends, I got Chinese friends, I got all kind of friends, and they all like super duper cool and close to me. You dig? So I'm never the one for that, but I just feel as though it's Black History Month. It's a topic, it's touching, but we gonna get right to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Racism is definitely, to me, racism is definitely still ticking. You dig? So I don't know. It's definitely still ticking. And when I think of racism, I think of some I'm gonna just give you one or two what individuals when I think of racism and Black History Month. I'm sorry, not racism. Black History Month. When I think of Black History Month, I'm gonna give you two people who comes to my mind. These two people I did history on. I did homework for. I read books about as a child coming up. I read books about. I did essays on. I did speeches. I imitated voices. I did jokes. I had jokes about these two individuals. I imitated them very well. And it was just a truth and a joke kind of thing. It wasn't like nitpicking at black people, but it was like, it was truth and a joke stunt, you know what I mean? But everything was a part everything that I could do to mimic or be a part of with these two individuals? I did. Trust me. I'm talking about Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. These two individuals, um, these two, these two individuals. First off, you have a female and you have a male, right? And we're talking about two strong. First, let's just keep the focus on Miss Rosa Parks. Let's let the queen shine first. You dig? Now, when they came to Rosa Parks, for me as a young kid, I was like, you really to explain something to a young kid when you talk history, like in the third, fourth, fifth grade, when you start really getting into school and knowledge and learning things and subjects. So when it came to me about Black History Month, these was the two that individual. But so when Rosa Parks came up, the only thing that stuck out to me with her was the fact that she got kicked off a bus. Right now, I'm always human. So when I first heard it, I'm young, and just it was kind of to me. But you would read the story, but you couldn't comprehend it too much. You just knew as a child that she got kicked off of a bus. Now, when I'm reading this story, racism is like, I'm not in it, but it's the 80s, still around. These people still around. These cops are still around. These people that own stuff still around that you got to purchase stuff. It ain't like today where you buying stuff off your own kind. You really had to buy stuff off of people that didn't like you. You know what I'm saying? I could imagine. So, you know what I mean? Because, the first one was to have stuff was them. Like then in the hood, we're talking about the hood. Then the Spanish, Puerto Rican, right? Then the blacks. Now we got it. Now we got everything. We got a lot. We got a majority. We got a lot of. We got everything we need. We don't support each other, but we covering all of the grounds too that was once places we had to go to make purchases, things we had to do. We got grocery stores. We got clothing designer. We got labels. We got record labels. We got liquor. We got houses. We got jewelry. We got technology. We got equipment. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little better for us right now in that aspect. But back then, it was just a lot different, of course. So when I was, getting school to Rosa Park, it was just pretty much the sitting on the bus that stood out to me the most. You know what I mean? And because there was always that picture of her sitting on the bus looking out the window. You know what I mean? But of course, the teacher would make you do the history so you could pull more out of it. More information up out of what happened that day and all of that. But so and it always stuck out to me that she got kicked off a bus, even though I'm sure I read the reason. I'm sure I read where she was going and coming from, because the story never changed. It stays the same. With history. So what's there now was there then. So I'm sure I read the same thing then, and it was explaining the year and what happened, where she was coming from. So I guess that's what my brain wanted to just stick to the point that she got kicked off of a bus. One time for Rosa Parks. One time for Rosa Parks getting kicked off the bus, though. So boom. So it's a story, man, and it is what it ain't. You dig? But yeah. So I just want to give her flowers, man, for Black History Month on my podcast, the 50-50 Felipe Show. I just want to just make sure Rosa Parks' name is staying alive, relevant. Black History Month, something I grew up on. I'll never want us to not remember her, even though the way life is, we are so much of great people with so many of us, with so many for us to remember. But let's always remember Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? She was born 1913. The incident happened in 1955, right? When she wouldn't get off the bus. The incident happened in 1955. But Rosa Parks was tired, right? Rosa Parks worked. She was educated. She did a lot. Rosa Parks did a lot in a day, bro. Like, man, this sister worked. This sister went to school. Rosa Parks really wanted to be somebody from the beginning. From the beginning. I heard a comedian once say, I ain't gonna say the name, but I heard a comedian say Rosa Parks just became famous because her lazy ass ain't want to get off the bus because her feet was hurting. Now, that was funny. And I heard it back in like the late 90s. I want to say maybe early 2000s. If so, I ain't sure. But it was mad years ago. And my dumb ass ain't even really go back and read up on it. Because at this time, I ain't in school. But when he said it, I kind of thought he knew what he was talking about. Because I'm like, why the hell did she get up? But guess what? I did some history after that. And Rosa Parks was a working woman. She wasn't like the modern day person, like just didn't want to get up because she had an attitude, or she wanted to be rebellious, or she wanted to like challenge you, or she wanted to like whatever. She didn't. She worked. She went to school. And Rosa Parks was involved in programs. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about somebody that was born in 1913. When she didn't get off the bus, that was in 1955. Then the next year, 1956, all of the boycotting and all of the, I think it was probably 383 days of the boycotting for the bus. All of that paid off. Because the very next year, 1956, the law changed. And they made it to where as though black people had rights as well to sit wherever they wanted to sit on the bus. Now, Rosa Parks is so powerful for that. Because what if she would have just got her behind up and just did what they said do? And we was taught that. Do what you say do. You know what I'm saying? We was taught that, especially at that time, and especially from who was telling us. That color person was telling us, get up. So a lot of the times we did what they said do. That's just what it was, because they were like not in charge of us, but they was running shit. But she stood tall. And some people say because she was tired. Regardless of what, being tired or not, you know what could possibly happen at that time doing racism when you was told to get up for the white person and you didn't as a black person. You know what you was aiming for. You know what was coming your way. How about she just was tired of it? Because it took for that day, it took for that rebelliousness, it took for that energy, and it took for that not wanting to become a better person than she was. She already was doing good things. But she had become a better person with that, and then broke the law the next year to as though we could sit anywhere on the bus. And I know a lot of us take advantage of that on the strength of Rosa Parks. I know that. But rest in peace, Rosa Parks. She died in 2005. And I just want to say, man, I'm still riding the bus, Rosa Parks, and I'm sitting wherever I want. I just like the back because I'm that kind of nigga. But I appreciate Rosa Parks, man, for not standing so we all can sit, man. Word. Because if she wouldn't have did that, I don't know if today would have been that way. Some people say, of course, but nah, we can't say that because it wasn't before Rosa Parks, but it is after her. So I appreciate Rosa Parks for standing tall, literally. Word. But yeah, we gonna rock. We gonna keep it moving, man. We gonna definitely keep it moving. Black History Month, man. Fight the power. Huh? Fight the power. Like I said, drop any information or any historical things or any knowledge you want down in the bottom that you may, you remember something or a year, a special year, anything, any Black History moment or a name or a legend. Even if it's a hood legend to you, you could drop them down and give them their flowers, man. It's Black History Month, man. I just believe we deserve all we can get, man. No disrespect to nobody, but we've come a long way. And we're in a position to help each other, pat each other on the back, support each other, and represent for each other. Even the dead and the gone, the people that's up next to come, and the ones that are here, we in position to do these things. So I just believe that we should all partake in it. If we all play a part into this and form like Voltron, we super good. You know what I mean? Yo, we're going to move over to my boy, Dr. King. I had a dream that one day. That's my dude. Listen, they used to be like in school, pick up. They on Black History Month, they used to say pick a person. There was so many great black people. And we had the books, and it was so many great, especially in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I always would pick Dr. Martin Luther King because you could do a voice history month thing, or you could write an essay, or you could tell a story about why you picked him and whoever the person you pick. And you had like Dr. Martin Luther King, you had all the black people, Rosa Parks, you had Malcolm X, you had you had people like Red Fox inside that book at that time. You had people like Michael Jackson, like they was in the Black History book that the teachers passed out that you could have talked about or wrote an essay for during the Black History Month. So I always had picked Martin Luther King because I always wanted to do the voice thing. I had a dream that one day I was walking down the street and I said to myself, realize, thank God Almighty, realize. So that's why I chose him once again today. You dig me, to do Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? Dr. King was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He was ATLian. You heard? You know what I mean? Dr. King was funkified. So funkified. One time for Dr. King being born in ATL, shorty. Dr. King was born in ATL, shorty. Dr. King was married to Coretta Scott. They got married in 1953. They have 4 children. Now, I don't remember the names. I did try and remember, respectfully, but shout out to all 4 of their children, Coretta Scott and Dr. King. And 1953, they were married. 1953 was an interesting year because, and it's interesting that I use these 2 Black history icons, Black icons, because in 1953 was the same year the law changed. No. Dr. Martin Luther King, once he graduated from Morehouse, Dr. King graduated from Morehouse. Dr. King got skipped from the 9th and the 12th grade and went straight to college. You ain't know that. And he graduated, when he graduated from Morehouse was around the time that Rosa Parks, what a coinky thing, was at a time Rosa Parks was fighting for our rights as black people to share the bus with whites. Dr. King got wind of it and he did the boycott for 380 something days for with Rosa Parks. She got incarcerated for not standing up and giving up her seat. She went to jail. She ain't snitch like some of you niggas. She wasn't did her time. Rosa Parks, gangster. One time for Rosa Parks, she ain't tell. Dr. King ain't tell either. One time for Dr. King, he went to jail. Tired of you rat bastards. So, Dr. King, once he got his degree in Morehouse for like being a preacher, a pastor, I believe, and a whole bunch of other things, he put himself in the position where he came straight out of school and went and fought for Rosa Parks with the standing on the bus thing. And they got that off. 380 some days they boycotted. And then the next year, 1956, was the year the law changed for us to be on the bus together. So shout out to Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks for creating each other. You see how God worked? Nobody knew that this would have happened. You know, she wanted things to change, and Dr. King is in school all this time studying. Didn't even know that his study and his learning would be able to help us in the future. He didn't even know. So he graduated from Morehouse, and then he became who he was and was able to help Rosa Parks go on and change the law for us to sit together. Shout out to them for that, man. Now that's a marriage. You dig? Now that's some grown and sexy shit right there, man, for Black History Month. Who would have known? It's some great, powerful black people out there, man. You also could become one too. That's on everything. Some great, powerful black people out there. Word up. And one time for Dr. Martin Luther King marching for our rights, man, and getting incarcerated, man. He really stood tall and he stood on himself, man. He stood on stuff. And Dr. King was assassinated. Now, Dr. King was assassinated at a hotel, right? Dr. King had a speech the very next day before his assassination. Dr. King had a long ride from, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia, to where he got assassinated at. I believe in Memphis. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. I think Dr. King got killed in Memphis. Now, Dr. King had a long ride from Atlanta to Memphis, right? So he wanted some rest. So he went in there, he got some rest. He laid down in his room and he got some rest. He was accompanied by, along with some other civil rights leaders. You know, I don't know too many of their names, but I know Jesse Jackson was there. Now, Jesse Jackson ain't want to get no rest. He stayed up doing whatever he do or whatever he was into. Now, I don't know if he took the ride with Dr. King to the hotel, but I know when Dr. King arrived at the hotel, Jesse was already there. Dr. King was tired. He wanted to get ready for the next day because he had a speech. You dig me? He was presenting a speech, so he wanted to get some rest. Jesse Jackson came and knocked on his hotel door, called him out, buzzed him. Hey, Martin! Dr. King! Dr. King, come outside. This is Jesse Jackson. Dr. King trying to get rest. Come outside and protest. These garbage truck drivers ain't got no work, ain't getting paid, they ain't picking up trash. Protest the same thing that's going on with the garbage trucks today was going on back then. Jesse Jackson went and knocked on the door and got Martin Luther King to come outside. And Martin Luther King, being the humble man he is, okay, Jesse, here I come. Let me put on my penny loafers. Dr. King go outside and he hit the balcony and put himself in position to say his I Had a Dream speech, and pow, pow, pow. There was Dr. King. And if you remember that picture where you see two people like this pointing to the balcony, that's Jesse Jackson. That's Jesse Jackson over there like this. He pointing. Rest in peace, Dr. King. Now, I believe that everything happened for a reason in life. I really do. Rest in peace to all of those that are rested in peace. You dig? Easy. But you can't let no nigga come get you, man. Always remain in your space and in your whatever it is you got going on, man. Sometimes somebody coming to get you, man, you don't know what they walking you into. You don't know what's behind that door. You really don't. You really don't know what's behind that door. You don't know what you're getting into. Dr. King would still been alive, but Jesse Jackson ain't carried his ass over to that hotel room and knocked on that door. He should have handled it himself. He talking any other time he turn around, he talking. Why you ain't go on the balcony and talk on your own? That's why when niggas come to your house and get you, you think about going out. You think about leaving with them. You think about leaving your family. You think about leaving your comfortability. You think about leaving your sleep. When somebody come to your house and take you away from your comfortability, or take you away from your kingdom. That's why in certain religions, you can't go to nobody's house. You got to call them. You can't just knock on nobody's door. You got to let them know you on your way, or is it good to come by, or whatever. Like and subscribe, though. Happy Black History Month. That's all I got for you, man. Well, anyway, for today, but I got some other things coming up for you. Be on the lookout for I got some guests coming up as well, as usual. Like I said, it's 2025, man. Look alive. I'm gonna keep my word. You keep your word. I hope you like and subscribe some shit. I smacked the hater. You dig me? So we even Steven. Word up. Yo, I'm out of here, man. The 50-50 Felipe Show. I'm your host, Felipe. I'm out of here, man. Yo, if you're dealing with racism in any way, shape, form, or fashion, stay humble about it, man. You know, it's I don't even know what to say, like if there's a class or what, but I think you should really love on people, man.